Yeah, I don't ever remember feeling like this. But I'm out here in these YouTube streets. So I want you to get your fingers.
I don't know what you're doing.
I want you to
right
get
now,
your mouse.
I want you to check me out.
And I want you to check me out.
Get ready to do this. It's the relationship rehab. Like, share, and subscribe. We coming at you live. So come on, let's take a ride. Then subscribe to United Guns of America. Just click that link and listen up to what I'm telling you. It's the relationship.
Click that link right now. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Brian Revin, and I just want y'all to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know what you think. I'm gonna talk about some things, you can talk about some things, and we can do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about having a conversation, right? I mean, if we can't talk to each other, then, I mean, what are we really here for? I want y'all to be able to just come over to my channel, talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can tell you what's going on with me, and we can build some things, you know what I'm saying? That's all about growth, baby. So click that link, go ahead and swipe on your phone, whatever you gotta do. Share my content. It's just get me out here, baby. Cause we just talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like doing what I'm doing because it's about the people. It's about us having a conversation with each other. It's about us discussing whatever needs to be discussed. And on these YouTube streets, this is the best place to do it, baby. Like, share, and subscribe. That's right. Click the link. Click the link. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out here that's already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all ain't the first one, and y'all ain't the last one. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that click the link, that click the share, and then subscribe to your boy. Cause we gon' grow this thing together, baby. Relationship rehabbing, United Guns of America. To the world, blow up, baby. Yeah. Click the link, baby. Click the link, baby. Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to send a shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. That's why I do this. It's for the love of us, baby. I appreciate all of y'all. Ooh, we gon' do this thing. We gon' do this thing right here, baby. Hey, look, if you at a computer right now, just go ahead and click your link. What else you got to lose, baby? Tell me what you think. Hit the comment section. You can jump on the live panel. We do it all here. That's what it's all about. So come holler at your boy. I've been doing this for years, but I just got onto this YouTube thing. So hey, let's see what it do and where it can go.
To United Guns of America. Just click the link and listen up to what I'm telling you, telling you.
If I gave you my love, I tell you what I'd do. I'd expect a whole lot of love out of you. Oh, yeah. You got to be good to me. That's right. I ain't got no camera on. Yup. There we go. I'm gonna be good to you. Yeah, buddy. There's a whole lot of things you and I could do. Yeah. That's right. Y'all don't know nothing about this. Y'all don't know nothing about this here. This here is only for the exclusive folks. This is exclusive R&B right here. I'm just saying, everybody don't know these songs. This song here, this is, hey, I was thinking about my daddy today, so I had to hit y'all with this. Y'all gonna have to indulge me right now. I'm just sorry. What about the way you love me? What about the way you love me? And the way you squeeze me. Yeah, buddy. Welcome to the relationship rehab. Yeah, simply beautiful. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. Wow. When you get right down to it. See, back in the day, niggas was saying into the mic like it was a woman's face, like, yeah. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. See, y'all don't know nothing about that there. This is real heartfelt, soulful R&B. I'm telling you, you don't know. You had to go through something to be able to sing this here. I'm just saying, you just can't sing this song and you ain't had no life happen to you. You got to have this all down up in here, anime. When you need me, I'll be right there. Yeah, baby. Beside you, girl. Yeah, what y'all know about that? This here, my daddy loved Al Green, so therefore I love me some Al Green. Baby. What you know about that? Yes, indeed. No, girl. Sometimes it just fills you up. Click the like button if you can. I'm just saying, you might be having your eyes closed thinking about this. Ah, simply beautiful. Ooh, yes, indeed. Then he get real good right here. Whoa, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Ooh, baby. It's so many good things I can say about your girl. I can say that yes, indeed. What y'all don't know nothing about that Al Green, boy. That's simply beautiful. Yes, indeed. Well, I know my cousin do, because my Uncle Kevin, he knew about that Al Green too, boy. I'm telling you right now. He knew something about that. My daddy and my uncle, hey, they knew about that R&B. I'm telling you. There it is. But welcome to the Relationship Rehab. Shout out to everybody that done came in tonight. Shout out to my nigga Nickel City Don and hit your boy with $20 and then came back with another $20. That's what's up. Thank you. Hey, look, if you are joining me tonight, you are in for a hell of a show. We gonna have ourselves a funky good time. That's right. Yeah, buddy. Right. I see you, cuz. You know, I know what we talking about. We was raised right. And look, my cousin, he way younger than me, Joe. He a smart nigga, too. I love him to death. But he way younger than me. But he was raised right. You put on some of this, and he gonna know just what it is. He gonna know who sang it. He gonna know the song. He gonna know all that because his daddy raised him right. Shout out to my Uncle Kevin. Rest in power, baby. I'm telling you right now, we was raised right. We know about the Drakes and we know about the Futures and all the other Pop Smokes and all that. But we can go all the way back to them 70s, boy, and we can sit right on down with the best of them. I'm telling you, that's what I'm talking about. You put on some let me and my cousin be in the same room and some Fire Heartbeats go on. You can mute the shit because we know the words. You can put on the Fire Heartbeats in my grandmama house and mute it. We know the words, line for line. Like we got, you think niggas was reading off a script. That's how well we know that shit. Even the moves, the goddamn moves, boy. We know all this shit. That dresser, boy, hey, look here. Don't play. But let me go ahead and get into the show. I'm gonna start the show like this. I was gonna be right on time, but I had about a 6 or 7 minute delay. And I'm gonna tell you why I had a 6 or 7 minute delay. And the reason is because of niggas. and I can tell you this. Right, heartbeats front and center. I can tell you this. I have not only have a deep hatred for niggas, But I've also, in my older age, I've grown and I've gotten an allergy to them. I am self-diagnosing. I've diagnosed myself that I have an allergy and I'm allergic to niggas. I just had. Damn, shout out to Nickel City Don. Hit your boy with another $20. That's what's up, baby. I have a severe allergic reaction to niggas. I just do. Over on the United Guns of America, I appreciate you over there, boy. I have a deep hatred for niggas, but I have an allergy for niggas. And a lot of people would be like, well, you hate your own kind. Nope, that ain't it. I love black people. I hate niggas. And I hate niggas to their very core and the very existence of who they are, what they do, and what they stand for. And I'm so tired of niggas, which is why I hate niggas. That's just what it is. But tonight, before the show actually starts, I'm going to show you why I hate niggas. And I'm going to show you why I have such a severe allergy to niggas and nigga shit. This here, I was getting ready to start the show, and I had to click on another tab to open up a page so I can put the chat up so I can see the chat better, because I can't like watch the chat from the small screen. I got to put it up on another screen. And I put this up and I saw something. I said, what the hell is that? And I looked, I said, it got to be something wrong with this. This can't be what I think it is. And I clicked on it and I looked and I said, well, I'll be goddamn. I said, niggas ain't shit. That's exactly what I said, and then proceeded to watch. And I said, you know what? It is my duty to show the world from my purview what niggas are and what niggas do and why I hate niggas. I just do. In case somebody ever want to ask the question, man, you seem like you hate your own people. I'm going to be like, nope, but I can tell you why I hate niggas. I can tell you that. And this is one of those reasons why. So let me show y'all exactly what motivated me to do this portion of the show. And before I get started, I do have to go to my favorite part of the show. Come on, baby, talk to us.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Yeah, baby. Boy, I tell you, like a good cigar. This ain't my best one because my best one got a longer smoke to it, but it's a pretty decent cigar for a short smoke. Just saying. All right, so here we go. This guy here, there's a name I'm about to tell y'all, and I really didn't want to do this, but I said, nah, I got to. When you hear me say and hear other people say, I know Tommy said it before. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor over there on OnlyFans, killing the game. But when you hear people say niggas should have to take a test, niggas should have to have a certification, niggas should have to have papers to be able to get on the internet and all that kind of stuff, you know, to be able to speak on, you know, on TV, on the news and stuff like that. Niggas should also have to pass a special test just to be able to run for public office. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and I'm about to tell you why. This nigga here, his name is Charles Booker. And this nigga has the audacity to not only run for senator in Kentucky, but let me show you what this nigga's campaign ad does. I'm going to show you this nigga's campaign ad, and you can't tell me that niggas do too fucking much. And this is why we get laughed at, looked at, and not respected because of this. Watch this fuckery here. This is a whole nother level of fuck shit. And I'm so surprised that a nigga did this, and people I seem to be okay with it.
The pain of our past persists to this day.
Yes, that is a noose. And yes, that is a fucking gallows in front of the fucking Capitol. Now, I don't know if they fucking photoshopped it or whatever,
But this is what the fuck this shit starts out with. That's a fucking noose. And shout out to ABL, Anthony Brian Logan. That was the thumbnail that popped up when I saw it, and that's when I said, what the fuck is that? And that's when I clicked on it and I said, God damn. Watch this.
Persists to this day. In Kentucky, like many states throughout the South, lynching was a tool of terror. It was used to kill hopes for freedom. It was used to kill my ancestors.
Yes, this nigga has a noose around his neck on fucking TV, on a fucking national ad or statewide ad. I don't give a fuck. Yes, this nigga has willingly put on a fucking noose. Talking about it was used to kill my ancestors and 3 of my uncles.
Now, in a historic victory for our Commonwealth, I have become the first Black Kentuckian to receive the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. My opponent?
Right, and even ABL mentioned this too. When I saw this, I said, what in the Juicy Smollett is going on here? Have you not learned anything from Juicy? This is fucking ridiculous. Corey said, hey, big dog, I need you to pee in this cup real quick. What the fuck? I mean, come on, man.
The very person who compared expanded health care to slavery. The person who said he would have opposed the Civil Rights Act. The person who single-handedly blocked an anti-lynching act from being federal law.
And I have yet to understand why these politicians, these political niggas, want to have an anti-lynching law made a federal crime. I don't understand that. Y'all are literally acting like niggas are being lynched today. Like, yeah, it's a federal crime, man. You can't lynch no more. Like, if this shit get passed into law as though to say lynchings would go down. Lynchings ain't even up, nigga. Lynchings ain't even fucking happening. The only niggas that's lynching motherfuckers is niggas lynching themselves in fucking situations where they're fucking committing suicide. That's the only way niggas are lynching each other. And if you want to charge a dead nigga for lynching himself, by all means, give him life. Well, actually, that's that you can't give him life. You can't give him life because he kind of took his life. So he lynched himself. So how does that even work? So wait, I ain't shit. So if you made lynching a federal crime and I lynched myself, could you then prosecute me under the anti-lynching law and then give me life for lynching myself? I guess that would kind of work out. if that wasn't my intention. Hey man, what you in here for? I got life. For what? I lynched myself. What? What? Yeah, I lynched myself, but fortunate enough, I got life. Cause I was halfway through it before I realized this ain't what I wanted to do. God damn.
The choice couldn't be clearer. Do we move forward together, or do we let politicians like Rand Paul forever hold us back and drive us apart? In November, we will choose healing. We will choose Kentucky.
And then he kind of walks off with his head like this, like he's sad. That's a goddamn disgrace. And let me explain to you, because I know it's some niggas out here that don't get this. It's some niggas that don't get why they should be offended by this. And I'm going to tell you, this is why I was offended by this. Because yes, I understand what the symbolism, but here's the thing. You don't use symbolism to this degree when it's not to this level, when it's not to that level. Because there are a lot of our ancestors who didn't get to take the noose off. There was none of our ancestors who got to take their own the noose that was put around their necks off. And for this motherfucker to do a video and just conveniently take this noose off of his neck, it's quite, to me, offensive to those of us that did not, or to those of our ancestors that didn't get to do that. That's all I'm saying. I understand you want to run against Rand Paul. I understand that I don't see your ass beating Rand Paul. I just don't see it. Not in no fucking Kentucky. No. I get that. And I get the whole political shit, but at what point do we say enough's enough? It's like, I mean, do I fucking put myself, if I'm pro-abortion, do I dress up like a fucking fetus and put myself inside of a fucking huge fucking makeshift uterus and show myself fighting to be fucking killed so that I can have a choice? My mom chose to get rid of me, so it's okay. Is that what I do? It's like, come on. At what point do we just say, no, let's stop? It's like, it's just like the people that wear the little hats on their head, also known as the yarmulke. If the yarmulke people, if they were to make the symbolism of saying that a person they're running against, like what's my man name that ran for president? Bernie Sanders. It's like Bernie Sanders dressing up in classic yarmulke people attire during the Holocaust and saying, if you vote for this person, it's like you voting for Hitler. It's like, man, are you fucking serious? Like, he would never do that. He would never do that. It's like him calling everybody he runs up against or he hates, calling them Hitler. They try to do us like they did my ancestors. People will be like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? And my thing is, when it comes to, I understand that this may be offensive to some white folks. I get that. But I'm more surprised that niggas ain't saying nothing. Just because you a nigga, it don't give you carte blanche and free reign to do all of the shit that was done back in slavery. It's like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, man. Why would you do that? Are you trying to make it seem as though Rand Paul is a Klansman that is still lynching niggas? He's trying to lynch niggas in Kentucky. He wants to keep a noose around all Kentuckians or black Kentuckians. Are you serious? The fact that he thought that this was even okay to do shows that we have a problem as black folks. Because we think that all I gotta do is, thank you, cuz, all I got, CJ, all I gotta do is do something just to maybe, offend black folks a little bit and use some slavery shit, or I use some, they still trying to lynch us, and they gonna vote for me. They gonna come out and support me. It's like you could have said what you said without the fucking prop of a noose and a fucking gallows. Right, Don? It's embarrassing that that's all niggas is good for. Talking about slave shit, talking about the police. Articulate some points, man. If he's such a bad fucking senator, point out the shit that he's doing that's fucked up. And you don't need a goddamn noose to do that. And in my opinion, thank you, Juan, right there with it. In my opinion, this is exactly what race hustlers do. They always want to play the fucking slavery card. They always want to play the fucking Jim Crow card. That's all they want to do. Everything anybody does that ain't black is either Jim Crowing or they slavery or they cracking whips and all that shit. Just like when them lying-ass politicians was talking about the Border Patrol people that was on the horses trying to wrangle them fucking Mexicans down there, trying to cross over.
Yeah, they out there whipping the Mexicans like it's slaves. When it was a fucking horse riding technique. But what did the race hustlers do? They made it look like them motherfucking Mexicans was getting whipped with a goddamn like an overseer. They even called the Border Patrol agents overseers. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. When are we gonna be tired of that shit? That's all I'm asking. When are we gonna be tired of that fuckery like that? You can't come up and get my vote or come up and get my support or say, hey, you want me to vote for this or vote for you when you get up here in some fucking sackcloth acting like a goddamn slave. Talking about this, what they doing to us. It's insulting. Jesus Christ. And I hope Charles Booker sees this. Charles Booker, you a dumbass, and you are the problem when it comes to race relations. You are the problem when it comes to setting niggas back. You are the problem when it comes to just black folks being treated as people. You want equality for people? Then stop doing this stupid type of shit. If that ain't what you call cooning, I don't know what the fuck is. We want you to get up here and act like a slave. Well, if I come and play the slavery card and act like, we still enslaved, that'll strike a chord with the black folks and the liberal whites. And white folks can't really say shit about this, which is one of the reasons why I'm saying something about it, is because if they do, it's going to make them look like they the racists. Or you don't want us talking about it because you don't want us to be free. Shit's fucking ridiculous, man. And that is why I hate niggas. Just saying. All right. Now we can get into the real show and exactly what it was I wanted to talk about tonight. Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau. These two motherfuckers, if I want to choose my words correctly, are literally going to do or trying to do exactly what I've said and what others have said before. If there isn't ever a moment that proves that the whole idea of a one world government and how being a part of that one world government or one of the key factors of that one world government is to disarm it. If this don't prove it to you, because I've heard plenty of people make that argument, they don't want your guns. We just want make sense gun laws. We just want to be able to protect the American people, and we don't want our people, our citizens, to have weapons of war. That's what you hear. That's what people say. If there is ever been more of a convincing video of what is to come and what their plan is, this is it. This is it. Michael Jackson, this is it. This is it. But before we do that, I just want to show you how uneducated our president, good old Brandon, how uneducated our president is. And the fact that this man is the commander-in-chief and has all of these resources from a military perspective alone, the fact that he said what he said, it's embarrassing.
Welcome back, everybody. The president speaking now after his arrival at the White House. Let's listen in.
Sir, do you think there is anything different in how Republicans will approach the gun reform question now, given the circumstances?
Since I haven't spoken to them, I don't know, but my guess is yes, I think they're going to have to take a hard look.
Is there one element? Is it age? Is it red flag? Is it some component that you think could be most successful now?
Well, that's hard to say because I've not been negotiating with any of the Republicans yet. And I deliberately did not engage in a debate about that with any Republicans when we were down controlling the family.
What up, Huggy?
So I don't know what is the most, how far it goes. I know that it makes no sense to be able to purchase something that can fire up to 300 rounds.
What makes no sense is how thin your fucking hair is, dude. That's what makes no sense. What makes no sense is that as thin as your hair is, you need to keep a motherfucking hat on your head. You need to have a hat on your head like Zoe Williams keep a hat on his head. That's how bad that is. But let's listen to how stupid this guy just how dumb he sounds.
I know what happened when we had rational action before, back in the phone bill. It was a law that got passed. It did significantly cut down mass murder. And so there's only one reason for something that can fire, 100 shots. I mean, and I'll just conclude with this. Look, when I first started doing hearings on the issue,
he said there's only one reason why something should fire 100 shots. Here's the reason why, aside from the fact that it's your God-given right to have as many bullets that you can. I don't care if they got a 30-round magazine, a 60-round magazine, a 80-round magazine, a 100-round magazine, or a 200-round magazine. It doesn't matter. You should be able to have it. Here's the reason why. From a tactical standpoint, the reason why they have made large capacity magazines is because you don't want to have to reload if you're in a gunfight. Number one, you don't. Because in a gunfight, the most important thing is time. Seconds, milliseconds can determine if you live or die. That's one. Number two, if you have multiple targets, multiple assailants, you don't want to have to reload your gun. If I have a 5-round AR-15 and 4 people do a home invasion on my house with guns, my weapon that I have is now ineffective from an ammunition standpoint because I have to reload after 5 shots, which puts me at risk of getting shot and also puts me at risk of dying. The fact that military carry 30, 60, 100-round magazines lets you know why they do that. So that they can actually shoot multiple targets. Now, to say that we're going to get rid of larger capacity or higher capacity magazines to stop mass shootings, here's the only problem with that. Just because they're illegal doesn't mean that they cannot be made and they cannot be purchased illegally. That's all I'm saying. So because of that, why would I want to ban it? Because law-abiding citizens can use and benefit from having a higher capacity magazine. They can. So, just saying, that's just the magazine perspective and why it's stupid. You want to ban this and ban that, and I'm going to tell you at the end why they want to ban it, but what they're using now, the excuse that they're using now, it's bullshit. It makes no sense, literally no sense whatsoever. Because if I got a 10-round magazine and you're doing that so I won't have a 30-round magazine, what if I buy 3 magazines? How many rounds is that? You
You've got it. That's 30 rounds.
To what rational gun laws should be. It was during a period when I was a senator and the death rate was going up. Not that many more people were being shot, but the death rate was up. And I went, I think it was, I'm not sure, I think it was Common Hospital in New York, whatever the largest trauma hospital is. And I sat with a trauma doctor. And I asked him, I said, what's the difference? Why are so many people, not that many more people were being shot? This is now 20 years ago, or 25 years ago.
Actually, it was longer than 20 years ago, you old piece of shit, but go ahead.
I said, why are they dying? And they showed me a x-ray. He said, a 22 caliber bullet will lodge in the lung, and we can probably get it out, may be able to get it and save the life. A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body.
Two falsities right there. Is falsity a word? Yes, it is. Number one, a 22 caliber bullet is just as dangerous as a 9mm. If a 22 caliber bullet enters your body, especially in the midsection, especially center mass, that bullet can potentially do more damage than a through and through bullet, like a 9mm round that goes into your body. So a 22 caliber bullet could go in and it probably won't go through because of the velocity of the caliber of that bullet. Doesn't have as much gunpowder, therefore doesn't have as much velocity. So when that bullet hits, what it's going to do, it's going to move around. And because it is a piece of hot metal and it is jagged or potentially flattened or whatever the case may be, whatever it does, it could break off, break apart, whatever the case may be, it's still going to destroy tissue. It's going to damage tissue from the wound cavity entry point. It's going to do that. That bullet could potentially go into your lung and move up through your lung, move into your intestines, move into your stomach. It can go in multiple places. That bullet can also, because it is a 22 and it doesn't have as much velocity, it can enter your body, hit a bone, and take a different direction. So that bullet that comes in could potentially come in, hit your rib cage, and then it could take a different course of direction, and then it can go up and maybe nick an artery. It can go up and nick your heart. It can go up and hit another part of your lung. It can shoot over to the other side and hit your lung. It could then hit your liver, which is even worse. Hitting your liver, it could cause you to actually get sepsis, and you can die from that too. This is why he's literally making this shit up. There's not a single doctor on this planet that will tell you it's better to get shot with this kind of bullet as opposed to this kind of bullet. They're going to tell you, depending on where you get shot, will determine on your survivability and how and what the bullet does once it hits you. The other part, which was the dumbest part of his statement, is when he says a 9mm bullet that hits your lungs will blow your lung out of your body. I'm going to let that sit there for a second. He said a 9mm bullet that hits your lung blows your lung out of your body. That is scientifically not true and impossible. If you look at the size of a human lung and you look at the size of a 9mm bullet, it is impossible for that bullet to blow your lung out of your body. It is impossible, physically impossible. I'm just saying. Here's the other part to that.
a bullet, he's saying, like a 22, goes in and it just lodges inside of the lung, and they could probably get that out, which is bullshit. But whatever. A 22 will potentially lodge itself in your body, and the chances of it exiting out are very slim to none because that round is made to not go through you. Here's the other thing. A 9mm hollow point is made to do just that. It is made to not go through you. A full metal jacket bullet is made to go through you. However, a 9mm hollow point is made to stay inside of you. Why? So that it can create more damage in the wound cavity area. That's just the logic, the physics behind certain rounds and the way those rounds are made. A full metal jacket, 9mm, is made to go through you. It is made to penetrate the body and go through the body. Full metal jackets, that's what they do. That means that the bullet is closed. It's not hollow pointed. There's no hollow tip on it. The actual slug is closed. It's full. It's rounded. I don't even think I have any of those. Oh, yes, I do. My practice ammo has that. Let's see if I can show this, young whippersnappers. Hold on. It's good to have your range bag in here. Where is that? Oh, wait. Yep. I love my new range bag, too. All right, let's see here. Yep. See, I always got just what I need so that I can educate viewers, because there are some people that may not know this. So that's why I want to do this. All right. This is a 9mm hollow point. Full metal jacket. Let me get up close here. Do you see that? That is a full metal jacket bullet. That's a 9mm. That bullet is made to go through you. This, let me do my administrative unload here. This is a hollow point. Now, that little red piece of polymer that you see in there, that is a flex tip. And what that does is it helps the bullet to expand even more, or what some people may call the mushroom effect. So that's the difference. This bullet is made to stay inside you and is made to expand, or in some cases, what some people may say is flatten, so that it can stay inside you. This bullet here is made to where it can go through you. So if you get hit with a bullet in your midsection, this bullet could potentially come out. If you get hit in the limb or something like that, this bullet will potentially more than likely come out. This bullet here is meant to stay inside you so that the doctors can get it out your lung that's been blown out. Right. So that's the difference in those rounds. Now, the velocity of that bullet is what causes the wound cavity damage, the velocity of it. That's why I always tell people that get caught up in get a 45, man. You're going to have that 4.5. Get that deagle, that Desert Eagle, boy. Look, velocity and shot placement is what takes people down. Your shot placement and your velocity. You can take somebody down with a 22 with the proper shot placement. You can take somebody down with a 22 and the proper shot placement. Same thing with a 380. The 9mm, the reason why this round is so popular and why this is one of the better rounds is because the caliber of it, the weight of that bullet, and the capacity that it allows.
Just like some people like 40 caliber bullets, which I do have my 40 caliber right here. And I will show you that. If I can get my 40 cal out. The 40 caliber bullet, it's bigger than a 9mm. Let's do that. Leave that right there. The 40 caliber, it's bigger. This is a true straight up hollow point. These are Spear Gold dots. Amazing, great bullets. See that hollow point? This bullet expands. This bullet is bigger than a 9mm bullet. God dang it. There we go. This bullet is bigger than a 9mm bullet, just slightly. But this bullet, because it's a bigger bullet, it's a bigger slug, it's going to potentially cause a little bit more damage because it's bigger as far as the wound cavity is concerned. That's just what it is. So you have to realize that there is a science to this when you're talking about damage and bullet damage and all that kind of stuff. Even when you get into like an FN, which is a gun that I'm going to get hopefully soon. An FN has a special kind of bullet in it that is a high velocity bullet. It's high velocity. So the penetration of that bullet is going to be more devastating when it comes to the wound cavity area because of the velocity of that bullet. So you have to keep that in mind. Those are the things that matter when you're talking about how a bullet is, more lethal than another bullet. It's all about, number one, shot placement and how many shots you can get down on that person. A person who shoots someone with a 45, yes, that's a hard-hitting round because it's a heavier round. However, one of the negatives or one of the cons of a 45 round is the fact you don't get to have a lot of them. That's just one of the downfalls of having a 45. You don't get to have a lot of shots before you have to reload. Like the classic, one of the most beloved 45s is a 1911. My uncle has a beautiful 1911, a Colonel's edition. It's amazing. I love his 45. I'm not a big 1911 guy, but his 45 is one of the best ones. It's one of the old school, one of the ones when 45s was when 1911s was 1911s, baby. Tried and true. But he has a beautiful Colonel edition Colt 45 that was military issued. It's a beautiful gun. Beautiful. But that is what you're talking about. So bullets do not, a 9mm bullet will not blow your lung out of your body. He's literally exaggerating, grandizing. Is that a word? Or grandizing, whatever it is. He lying, essentially, to try to make his point. And that's bullshit. And I think that it's a poor excuse of a president to do something like that.
So the idea of these high caliber weapons is there's simply no rational basis for it in terms of about self-protection, hunting. I guess.
And I don't understand why everyone that is pro gun control, I don't understand why they try to regulate the usage of a gun to hunting. That is not what the Second Amendment was about. The Second Amendment was not written about hunting. It was written about being able to overthrow your government if need be, and it was meant to protect the Constitution. That's what it was. That's exactly what that shit is talking about. It's not talking about hunting bears and lions and tigers. It's not talking about hunting. It is talking about being able to protect yourself from your government. And I don't understand why they try to equate guns, ARs, handguns, whatever, to hunting. That is not what the Second Amendment was about. It was not a fucking hunting amendment. I don't understand why they always try to throw that shit out there saying your gun should only be used for hunting. Nope. Guns should be used for motherfuckers that try to fuck with you. Guns should be used for your government that tries to fucking control you. Guns should be used for anyone and anything that is trying to harm you. That's what it's for. But they always try to throw that shit out there. Oh, you only need it for hunting. Nope. I need it for a motherfucker that's trying to tell me what the fuck to do. Period.
And remember, the Constitution, the Second Amendment, was never absolute.
It is. They never said this is not absolute. They said shall not be infringed. That means shall not, which means never, which means ever. Don't infringe, don't encroach, don't touch, don't fuck with. That's what it says. There is an absolute to that. It didn't give it a time frame. It didn't give stipulations. It said, thank you, Juan, well regulated, which means you got your shit organized. That's what the fuck well regulated means. Militia. That means a group of citizens that is basically an effective team, an effective small army that is organized. That's what it means. And then it says the right to the people, not to what the government say, not to what the governing body says. It's to the people. That's it. And to keep and bear arms. That means to keep them, have them in my house, have them on my person, and to walk around with these motherfuckers. That right, that's a right, not a privilege. There's a difference. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed upon. It shall not be touched, should not be fucked with, should not be altered, should not be changed, should not be infringed upon. Period. That is an absolute. That means never ever. That means no way. That don't mean, well, back then they were thinking from a musket perspective. Nope. They wrote it plain, they wrote it basic, and they wrote it so that it could grow right along with the fucking country. That's why they did it that way. That's why they called it arms and not muskets. That's why they called it arms and not rifles. That's why they called it arms and not 45s. That's why they called it arms and not handguns. That's why they called it arms and not shotguns. I don't understand how people try to spin. Well, I understand why they try to spin it, but to spin it in their behalf. But I'm telling you, just like it's written that way for a reason. These were some of the smartest fuckers to be in that time. They understood what they were writing when they were writing it. They weren't sitting there and was just getting high and saying, shit, we should just put something in there about a gun. Shit, fuck it. Just say, it shouldn't be infringed. Yeah, just a well-regulated group of people. A militia. Yeah, we do militia. No. They wrote it that way for a reason. There is a purpose behind it because they never, ever, ever wanted the government to fuck with it. That's why they wrote it that way. So any fucking politician that gets up and says, it's not absolute, it should be taken down, it should be changed. Nope. They wrote it that way for a reason. It was very strategically written the way it was written. That's why they used the word arms. Arms transcends time. They knew eventually that shit would evolve, just like we know guns will eventually evolve. One day, there'll be a phaser. One day, there'll be a laser gun. One day, somebody will have that gun Princess Leia had in motherfucking Star Wars, or the gun that fucking Han Solo had in Star Wars. One day, they'll have that. And you know what they'll call those? Arms. Not, we won't look back in the Constitution. See, the Constitution said only 9mm. See, they didn't mean for us to have those phasers. Bullshit. That's why they did it. They called it arms for a reason. That's it.
You couldn't buy a cannon when the Second Amendment was passed.
Bullshit. People couldn't afford cannons. How come you couldn't buy a cannon? There wasn't a law against that. There was never a law that says you cannot own a cannon. That's a fucking lie. Show me the law that says you can't own cannons. He's making this shit up. Show me the law that says you cannot buy a cannon. You can't find one. Because you could. People don't even realize this. Until I believe it was the late 80s or the 90s, around the late 80s, I believe, is when they stopped allowing military war veterans that got out of the army, they were able to keep their guns. Yes. When you retired from the military, back in the 70s and shit, them motherfuckers was bringing their guns home. They were bringing their guns home. That M60 I had over in fucking Korea, that M60 I had in World War II, in World War I, or whatever the fuck it was, when my tour was over, that was my gun. And I brought that gun home. I came home with my M16 from fucking Vietnam. Plenty of people did. They stopped that shit recently. That wasn't no shit where back in the day, you fought with this gun, you fought for your country. Here's a token of our appreciation. Thank you, sir. Right, there you go, Wolf Bear. He has his grandfather's M14 that he had in Vietnam. It was nothing for war veterans to have their M14s or their M16s and all that shit that they had when they were in the war. Clinton put a stop to it in 94. There you go. I'm telling you, that was okay. That was the thing. So it wasn't no thing to where, oh, well, you can't have that because that's a military stuff. No. Even when in law enforcement, when they would issue, I believe most people got to pay for their weapon now, or you get one. But your service weapon, that's your gun. You retire, that's it. That's your gun. I'm sorry, I got to adjust my goddamn draws. There we go. Excuse me. But you got to keep that kind of stuff. It was nothing to keep it. It was expected. It was expected. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. You can't buy a cannon. Bullshit, back then you could. A lot of people didn't find a need for a cannon, so it wasn't a popular thing. But shit.
You couldn't go out and purchase a lot of weapons. And those who, not many are saying it anymore, but there was a while there where people were saying that, you know, the tree of liberty is water with the blood of patriots, and what we have to do is have to be able to take on the government when they're wrong. Well, to do that, you need an F-15, you know? You need a Abrams tank. I mean, so it's...
No, the fuck you don't. You don't. An F-15 is just that. It's an F-15. It's a fucking plane. It's a fucking plane. If you needed to have an F-15, then we wouldn't have soldiers. We would just have F-15s. If the only thing you needed was a tank, an Abrams tank, then we would only have an army of Abrams tanks. You tell me what an F-15 is going to do when it comes to shooting actual people. It can make some passes and shit like that, but that don't mean you're going to get rid of everybody. You can't get rid of everybody with some F-15s. You can drop bombs and shit like that, But people are still going to survive that. Because a lot of times you don't, if it came down to it, America dropping bombs on America is going to do what? Destroy America. So that shit ain't going to happen. Ain't nobody going to drop a fucking bomb on the fucking White House lawn because there's a bunch of niggas out there. Or a bunch of motherfucking people out there. There's a militia out there. They're not going to do that. They're going to have to soldier up. You try rolling an Abrams tank down some of these side streets in your city. Can't do it. Can't do it. It don't make any goddamn sense what he's saying. He's literally just trying to grandize what it is he's saying to make it seem like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, they do get all that kind of stuff. They got stealth bombers. Do you really think they're going to launch a stealth bomber here? Nope. I'm sure Venezuela got tanks. They didn't put that shit on them people that they shot. They put soldiers out there with fucking rifles and shot their own people. That's what they did.
I think things have gotten so bad that everybody's getting more rational about it. At least that's my hope and prayer. I have a gold star mom from this.
Sir, I know you want time.
Here's my thing. If all you needed was an F-15 and an Abrams tank, why would he need a security detail? Shout out to my brother Tommy. By your logic, you don't need the Secret Service. All you need to have, and you need to just ride around in an Abrams tank. And when you go to these different fucking states and cities, you just need to hop inside of a fucking F-15. And you would be fine. That's it. Why does he have armed security? Why does he have guys who got fucking P90s and shit like that on their fucking waist? Folded up fucking P90s and shit like that. Folded up scars and shit like that. Why does he have that? You don't need an MP5 and a guy who can wield one. You just need to hop in an Abrams tank, Mr. President. If you need to piss in the tank. Got to take a shit in the tank. You need to address the people, do it from the tank, inside the tank. Fuck people, fuck soldiers. We just need tanks and F-15s. That's it. By his logic. You'd be a fool to believe that. I don't give a fuck how many goddamn planes you got, choppers, how many fucking tanks. It don't matter. You still need soldiers. You think they just rolled a bunch of tanks through Afghanistan? Nope. Did they just roll a bunch of tanks through fucking Vietnam? Nope.
To act, do you believe as president you have a particular responsibility now?
Oh, I know I have to, but there's a constitution. I can't dictate this stuff. I can do the things I've done, and any executive action I can take, I'll continue to take. But I can't outlaw a weapon. I can't, change the background checks. I can't do that. And my whole career I've been doing it. Persuasion, yeah. But there's been a few things happening. I know you're good at it. You got to travel.
McConnell is directed Senator Cornyn.
Now that part was actually true. He can't just write it, and that's one. And I'm telling you like this. Y'all don't realize this, and this is why I hate motherfuckers that hate America. I can't stand motherfuckers that talk shit about America. And it's like when you have people that literally make statements about ain't nobody gonna do that, ain't nobody trying to do this. Let me tell you something. If a person could do what they wanted to do just by simply writing an executive order, why wouldn't they do it? Why wouldn't I do it? If I'm the president and any executive order I write supersedes anything that's out there, why wouldn't I do it? If it's what I want to do and it's to my advantage. That's why they wrote the Constitution. That's why there's a Supreme Court. Because of that. Because that would essentially empower every fucking president to literally be a fucking tyrant. What they felt is best is what they would do. just like fucking, I don't know, Hitler. What he thought was best is what the fuck went down. That's just what it is. That's why they have this, to keep it from being a tyrannical government, because they literally would do what the fuck they want. That's why there needs to be a difference between federal and state, because it would literally make the fucking president the king of everything.
And to search for a compromise, do you really think there's something there, or are they just making noise?
I don't know, but I think there's a realization on the part of rational Republicans, and I consider McConnell a rational Republican, and Cornyn is as well. I think there's a recognition on their part that we can't continue like this. We can't do this. I've got to go in. I got the gold stuff
there. And I'm telling you like this. One of the things that people I talk about with my brother Easy all the time, as bad as of a president as Joe Biden is, and hear me when I say this, I pray that Joe Biden makes it to the end of his term. Because and I'm going to tell you why. I pray that he makes it to the end of his term because he's old, but he's old school. So there are still some old ways that he has that literally keeps us from being totally engulfed by this full-fledged left fucking bullshit that they got going on now. He still believes in some of the old ways, some of the old traditions, and I'm telling you, that is totally kept us from going full left, full socialism. He's not with that shit. He's not with that shit. He's with this one world government shit, but he is not with this whole leftist, do whatever you feel is what you do mentality. He's not with that. And I'm telling you like this, I know there are plenty of us that don't like this man, but I need him to hold on. Father, in the name of Jesus, I ask that you touch this old man so that he can make it through this term. I ask that you keep him, Lord, from falling into an incapacitated state, Lord. I just want you to just touch him now, Father. Jesus, please heal him and keep him well until he can finish out his term, Lord. Then have your way. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm telling you, because the last thing you want, and I'm going to say it, is a woman, and a woman like Kamala Harris being the president. I'm telling you right now, that's the last type of person you want in charge of the fucking nukes. That's the last person you want, is a lying, make up, I will lie and say whatever the fuck I gotta say type of bitch to just be in charge. It's the last thing you want. Call me misogynist, call me a chauvinist, call it whatever you want. That's the last bitch you want to be in charge around this motherfucker. Because she'll do whatever the fuck she's told, and she don't have no fucking moral compass. She don't have no fucking boundaries. As long as she gets what she want and she running shit, that's what she's with. You say we can start slavery again. Well, it's not really slavery. It's more of like a volunteer work program. That's the type of shit Kamala Harris will tell your ass. I'm telling you, if that bitch ever became president, we better go find Willie from LA to come out here and tame this bitch one more again. Willie, please get your bitch. That's what we better do. Hey, Willie, we better get Willie, because Willie be the only motherfucker that can talk some sense to that bitch. I'm telling you right now, you don't want that bitch to be in charge. You don't. So all that Pearls and Chuck Taylor shit, all that bullshit, trust and believe, let it be where it's at.
I need Joe Biden to stay healthy. I need the Lord to place his hand upon old Joe and keep him for another 3 years. I do. Y'all do realize all this shit that has happened, it's only year one. So you figure we got another year, right? 23. And then toward the end of 23, then he'll kind of have to they'll kind of have to do some type of shit as far as running. Whether they're gonna try to run him back or get somebody else in there, it's gonna be time for him to run again. So that shit'll be a little different. So it's really, especially when you're doing it this in your first term, you really only like changing shit for like the first 3 years. Because that fourth year, you trying to run again. And I know that these motherfuckers gonna try to have to stand somebody up over the next 2 years. They're gonna have to find somebody that's gonna be able to run in 2024. So I just need this motherfucker to make it, because by the time you get to the halfway point of 2024, a lot of shit will already be too late to try to put some shit into place. But trust and believe, we need this motherfucker to hold on. I'm telling you. Yeah, buddy, we be calling on Willie Johnson, boy. Willie, we need you, man. Come get your bitch, please. Willie be like, all right, man, let me go talk to the bitch. Put me on a plane. But that's Joe Biden and him just being totally ignorant about guns and about the Second Amendment. And it's sad when a president is that uninformed or just that ignorant about the Second Amendment, or it's even more so insulting when they're trying to make what it is that the Second Amendment is stand for something else. When they try to literally just bypass the words, because words do matter. They just want to bypass the words and give their own interpretation of it. If that's not tyrannical, I don't know what the hell is. I don't know what the hell is. But to everyone, and we've had this conversation, and I believe even the last time that I did a show the other day, there was somebody in the comment section that was talking about how Canada is this, how Canada is that, and comparing Canada to America, and Canada doesn't have these problems, and Canada doesn't do this, and you don't see this happening in Canada. Canada has this figured out. Well, if Canada has it so figured out, then I just want to ask this one question. Since they don't have this problem, why are they still going after their citizens' guns? Yeah. Now, for everybody that thinks I don't know what I'm talking about, everybody's thinking, well, Canada is different. They're so much better at this than we are. And yeah, let's go ahead and look at this, and you tell me how wonderful Canada is.
While US senators are talking about gun reform, in Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced a new bill that would place a national freeze on handgun ownership across the country. The legislation would cap sales, transfers, and imports of guns.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did just say that. What? It would stop gun sales, gun purchases, transfers, and all. I can't sell it. I can't buy it. I can't transfer it. I can't do nothing with it. Why would they do that, since they never have these problems that America has? What would be their motive? What's behind it? Why would this even be an issue here? Since they don't have these problems, why would they feel the need to do what he's doing now and to make this proposal?
Guns for Bryn Gingras joins us now live from New York. Look, Canada
You tell me, a country that someone has said and tried to argue with me, Canada is just as free as America. If that's the truth, then how the hell are they even having a bill being drawn up to get passed to freeze handgun ownership? And yes, they did, Nellie Mac. They did ban rifles. They just did that last year and they gave them 2 years to get all their shit together, and they got to get rid of it. Yep.
has a long history of gun control laws. How is this measure different?
Well, it's taking it even further, Becky. And there's one quote from a person high up in the government who said, gun ownership is a privilege, not a right. So that.
Yep, you just heard that. Gun ownership is a privilege and not a right. But it's just like America. They're just like America. They're just like the U.S. If that's the case, then why is this even being something brought up? What did he say about Pritzker? Do you know that J.B. Pritzker wants to run for... Oh, I know he wants to run for president. He a billionaire. He got the money to do it. But he won't win. He definitely won't win. But just think about that. If they're just like America and they figured it out because they don't have these problems. I think the last shooting they had, was it in Nova Scotia or some shit like that? What shooting they had a few years ago? Maybe about 4, 5 years ago, maybe. I can't remember when it was. But they did have a mass shooting. But here's the thing, like I said before, the other day on my show, when I was debating that person that was talking about how Canada got it figured out and all this bullshit. Canada only got 30 million people there. Canada got 30 million motherfuckers. That's it. That's it. And if those 30 million motherfuckers had one shooting like this that occurred, one active shooter situation or whatever the case may be, imagine if they had 350 million, how many they would have. Huh? You put 350 million motherfuckers in Canada and you tell me how many shootings they would have. How many mass shootings they would have. Yes, in theory, Blexit. He said there are more black people in America than there are in Canada. You could take all the niggas, which is about 44 million, I think, niggas, 45 million niggas here in America. You could take all of us and put us in Canada and we'd have them outnumbered by damn near 10 or 15 million motherfuckers. Yes, you're right, Amanda. That's even less than California. California could go and kick Canada's ass by itself, man to man. Fuck you talking about? And we ain't even counting the illegals that we got here. That's as close as we can get with the census, which we know ain't 100% accurate, maybe 90% accurate.
Just gives you the perspective of what's going on in Canada versus, of course, here in the U.S. So this is very extensive, what's being proposed by Trudeau, and I'm going to tick through all the points, or at least many of them. So essentially, this is going to just freeze gun ownership in the entire country. That means
freezes the buying, selling, transferring, and importing of handguns. Basically, whatever fucking handguns y'all got, that's it, and ain't shit else moving. You can't transfer it, you can't sell it, you can't buy no more, and you can't get no more imported up here. Why would they want to do that? There's no handgun problem in Canada. Correct me if I'm wrong. Canada doesn't have a gun problem. So then why would they want to freeze guns in Canada? Handguns more specifically. Reason why they want to freeze handguns is because they've already cut out fucking long guns. Huh? Here's the other part to that. Another little tasty nugget for you motherfuckers. There's already a gun registry in Canada. They already got their list of names. Yep. They already got their list of names. So if I'm going to stop people from getting more guns, if I'm going to stop people from selling guns, if I'm going to stop people from transferring ownership of guns, then why would I need a registry? Maybe, just maybe, the next phase is going to be a mandatory gun buyback, also known as confiscation. Yeah. Still think us Pro 2A gun nuts are fucking crazy? I guess.
Means it's illegal to sell, transfer, import, and buy any handguns. This also is going to be putting extensive fines on gun smugglers and traffickers. They will face criminal penalties. In addition to that, the country says they will support law enforcement to actually go after this illegal activity. It also involves revoking gun licenses for those who are involved in domestic violence, criminal harassment, so they don't want the guns in the hands of those people, and red flag laws, giving courts the option to take away gun ownership from people that exhibit behavior that could be harmful to others or harmful to themselves. And then
how do you determine that? So you're going to put that now in the hands of a judge, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. So, great question, JR Two Wheels. JR Two Wheels says, in your opinion, how would gun confiscation go down? Very simple. It's been done before, and the way that they did it is the way that Hitler did it. Yep. Hitler has shown us the way on how this shit works. First thing you do is create a gun registry. You make everybody register their guns. All of their guns have to be registered. If your gun does not have a serial number and is not registered in your name, you can't have it. It is an illegal firearm, and they will take it. I have a gun that don't have a serial number on it. That gun's no bueno. It's gone. But it's a relic. It's a museum piece. It's gone. You can't have it. Once they've created a registry, then they'll come back and say, in order to make our society safe, in order to make it to where our children are safe, in order to make it to where our citizens are safe, and there's our war against crime and violence, we are going to buy back all of our registered guns that our registered gun owners have. This is for everyone to be safe. The only people that need guns in our society are the military and law enforcement. So that's what they would do. They would literally have everyone register their gun, and once they register them, they would literally say, you have this amount of time within the next 2 years to turn in all your guns. For those of you that do not turn in your guns after the 2 years, because we got your fucking names already, and we know how many guns you got, and we know how many guns you own and where they at, no, we will now come and Canada Police, we're here to pick up your firearms, sir. Take this form. This is your mandatory buyback. You will get compensated based on what we feel is compensation for your firearm, regardless of sentimental value, regardless of that. We have a generic basic form that gives you some money for your gun. That's it. If you do not comply, you are now committing a crime. That's what they would do. They would use the registry that they have already to do a mandatory gun buyback. How do I know this? Because that's exactly what Hitler did. Look, that's exactly what Hitler did. Number one, that's my first example. That's exactly what Venezuela did. That's number two. And that's exactly what Australia did. That's number 3. That's 3 examples of societies who have taken the guns out of their everyday law-abiding citizens' hands. That's how they did it, and that's exactly what they did, and it worked. Australia had a mandatory buyback, and they got all their fucking guns. And now, all of the law-abiding citizens, the people that pay their taxes and go to work and pay all the government funds and all that shit, they're the ones that are suffering from the spike in crime as far as home invasions. Home invasions in Australia, it went up something like 150% or some shit like that. It was insane. Old people don't stand a fucking chance in Australia. Look it up. Don't believe what I'm saying. Don't take my word for it. Go and search the shit. Home invasions in Australia went through the roof because the criminals knew all these old motherfuckers definitely don't have their guns and they got money. That's what they do. That's how it would work. That's exactly how that shit will go down. That good old-fashioned gun registry that they had just to register everyone's gun. It's a make-sense gun law. You got to register your car. You should have to register your gun. Not if it's my right. If I got 2 or if I got 22, it's my right. And that's exactly why our forefathers, shout out to the forefathers of the country. Shout out to John Hancock. Shout out to Thomas Jefferson. That's why they wrote it that way. So that they could never come and take it. Because privileges can be revoked. Privileges can be taken and stripped away. Rights are with you from birth, conception. Once you are a person on this soil, you have a right. And the rights that are in the Constitution are yours. That's exactly why it's the way that it is.
One more thing is talking about rifles. They want in the country, no rifle should have more than 5 rounds in it. And they will actually manufacture the guns. This new proposal would say that they have to manufacture those guns so that there can't be more than 5 rounds at any one time inside those rifles. So this is just wide sweeping legislative bill that's right now in front of everyone, thanks to the Prime Minister. And of course, this is something he has campaigned on. As you mentioned, Becky, this is, gun control isn't exactly a stranger to that country. They had wide sweeping bills that passed, making it very difficult for assault rifle style weapons to be in that country after that major incident that happened in Nova Scotia.
Just like they did. That was a few years ago. Nova Scotia. She's right. Tronergy said they're going to do a rewards program like the V-Shot. Turn in your guns for food, water, massive discounts, and etc. They'll definitely incentivize it. That's why they'll do the mandatory buyback and give you an incentive. Hey, we'll give you $100 Amazon gift card and we will pay you 2/3 of the value of your gun at the time of purchase. So and here's the thing. This is the flat out just insulting part of a gun buyback. So I'm going to pay you taxes on the things that I purchase, including the purchase of my gun. So I pay taxes on my gun, the tax that I have to pay for the purchase of my gun. I'm going to pay that to the government. The government is then going to take the money that I pay them in taxes, and they're going to use that to buy back, to give back to me a portion of that money for the gun that I paid for. If that's not stupidity and insulting, I don't know what is. Yeah, that the money that you give us in taxes, we're going to use that money to buy your gun back for a fraction of the cost of what you paid for it. Because they won't give you full purchase value. They won't do that. They're going to guesstimate the shit. All rifles are $500. All handguns are $300. They're going to come with some bullshit like that. That's what they're going to do. Shout out to Julius. Hit your boy with $5. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
That's what they're going to do.
2 years ago, and this is just taking it even a step further. It's expected to actually pass because it does seem to have a lot of support.
Let's have a listen to exactly what Justin Trudeau had to say today.
And when they say it has a lot of support, that just means the politicians that are in parliament are in favor of it. Ask the fucking people, because the people there are livid. Just like they had the support of being safe and wearing masks in Canada until they showed the people in the streets fucking protesting, saying, we done with this shit. We don't want this shit. Get rid of this shit. JDO said, but what if they offer 10 grand? Impossible. They can't afford it. They can't afford it. As enticing as that would sound, they can't afford to offer everyone 10 grand for every gun that they have. Maybe 10 grand per household. Turn in all your guns and you get $10,000 in that address that we got from the registry. Yeah. Our registry shows you have 9 guns. You turn in those 9 guns, we'll give you $10,000. Maybe. But for each gun, impossible. They would bankrupt the government. Right. Citizen Man said they'd do $50 in a Walmart gift card or some shit for $700 worth of guns. Yep.
As a government, as a society, we have a responsibility to act to prevent more tragedies. Canadians certainly don't need assault-style weapons that were designed to kill the largest number of people in the shortest amount of time. Gun violence is a complex problem, but at the end of the day, the math is really quite simple. The fewer the guns in our communities, the safer everyone will be.
If that ain't a crock of shit, I don't know what is. As in the famous words of the great philosopher Kanye West, how, Sway? How the fewer the guns, the safer the people when criminals get illegal guns? Tell somebody to explain that to me and we can move forward. We can actually have a conversation, but you can't. How? That's just like saying the fewer cars we have, the less accidents we would have. So what, we gonna get rid of cars? The fewer shoes someone purchases, the less overspending in things you don't need it would be. If everybody could only buy 2 pairs of shoes a year, you wear a shoe for 6 months. We've determined that the lifespan of the average shoe is 6 months. So to keep our citizens from being wasteful and buying shoes that they don't need, because you only got 2 feet, you can only wear 1 pair at a time, then everyone should only get 2 pairs of shoes. And that's it. And you can't buy a new pair until you turn in your old pair. How about that?
Which couldn't be more different than that which is playing out, of course, in the south of the border in the US at present. I just wonder very briefly how you expect this bill to play out in Parliament.
Well, it is expected to have support. Like I said, they could enact at least some of these measures by the fall. And again, just kind of putting underscore on his points there, 59% of the incidents that involve guns in that country over the last 10 or 12 years have included firearms. So it is a stark difference. Obviously, there's a stark difference in population compared to the U.S., but it does seem to have that support to make these measures in place, certainly in response to what's happening, what they're seeing here in the United States. Because you have to remember, a lot of the gun smuggling, they say, is coming from the U.S., and they want to put a stop to it.
Bryn, thank you.
So here's the thing, and I'm gonna wrap this up And if you got any questions, whatever, then you can ask. But here's the thing. Here's the method to the madness. And this is when I put on my conspiracy hat. Shout out to Nickel City Don. Hit your boy with another $5. He says there are daily shootings on Jane and Finch streets in Toronto. See, that shit I don't know about because I don't follow Toronto news like that. But they still have gun violence being created by criminals. Criminals are going to commit crimes. That's just a fact. But here's the thing. Here's the global picture when it comes to this. This is me putting on my conspiracy hat. Y'all know I'm 5% conspiracy theory. But tell me if this don't make sense. We are the big dogs in all of this. Gun ownership. We are the final frontier when it comes to gun ownership. All of the other countries don't even have not even close to the amount of guns we have, and they don't even come close to having the same rights that we have with guns. A lot of people will say Canada is probably one of the closest cities to having true freedom when you compare it to other countries across the world. If they're able to do things like this and they get their guns, y'all know we the last ones, right? And these politicians that are with this one world government shit, they want to have one currency. They want to have it to where there's one governing body that rules the world. This is how it begins to actually get implemented. We have to take and change the money, and we have to get the guns. Guns and money. If we can make one currency that everybody uses, that's a whole nother level of control. If we can then take the guns from all of our citizens across the world, we now have no opposition. That's what guns represent in this world, and especially in our country. We'll have one rule, one currency, no opposition. What are the people going to do? Run around in the streets and get mad? They can until we get tired of them. Then we're going to take the people that we have in our military that got guns to get their ass in line. The only thing, and I mean the only thing, that keeps our government from just taking over and telling us what the fuck to do are guns. They can't make us all go inside the house with a bunch of F-15s and a bunch of Abrams tanks. They can't do it. They got to get on them streets. They got to get on the streets. They got to set up perimeters. They got to have a military presence in the streets in order for them to make us sit our ass down and go in the house. They already tried to do it with the COVID thing, the COVID scare. Just stay in the house and we just want to flatten the curve. Look at what they're doing over in China. They still got them motherfuckers in the house. They still got their ass walking around with masks on because they can't oppose the government. Now, you won't see any stories about it. You won't hear anything about it. You know why? Because they're in control of their media. There is no freedom of speech in China. There is no freedom of speech in Canada. There is no freedom of speech in North Korea. There is no freedom of speech in Britain. There is no freedom of speech in all of these third world countries. That's why I said what I said in the last show. Ain't no YouTubers talking about what the fuck the government is doing. If it ain't our government, well, if it's not our media talking about what's happening in these other countries, it ain't happening. Right. Look what happened in Liberia, Sierra Leone. I'm telling you, it ain't no freedom of speech in Russia. Look at what's happening in the Ukraine. It ain't no freedom of speech. It ain't no, we can say what we want to say. Nope. There ain't no freedom of speech in Venezuela. How many YouTubers did you see from Venezuela talking about the shit that happened in Venezuela when they got their ass over there literally eating out of the garbage every day? One of the major oil resources in the fucking world, Venezuela, is yet and still one of the brokest, poorest countries in the world. Their people are literally eating out of the garbage. And you know why they can't do anything about it? Because they don't have any guns. Correct. You can't even speak freely in Switzerland. John Costello said it. And don't take my word for it. Look this shit up. Go find the YouTube activists. Go find a YouTuber that's doing what I'm doing over in Russia. Go find a YouTuber that's doing what I'm doing over in Canada, over in over in fucking Korea, North Korea, over in South Korea, over in China, over in any of these other fucking countries. Go find a motherfucker that's calling out their politicians and their government the way that we do on YouTube, the way that we do on Instagram, the way that we do on Rumble, the way that we do on Twitch. Go and find it. You can't. We got problems here with our social media shadow banning niggas. That's why I only have 100 motherfuckers or 150 motherfuckers. On a good night, I might get up to 200. Yeah, I'm just a small YouTuber, but there are plenty of other YouTubers that are way bigger than me whose audiences are smaller and don't get the views that they should be getting because they're being shadow banned. The good old-fashioned algorithm. You say certain words, you say certain things, it's gonna say, oh, nope, we're gonna take this out of circulation. But the motherfucker that puts on fucking makeup for a fucking as a YouTuber, they get 1 million views. The person who sits and talks about Donald Trump, 100,000 views. Just what it is. Right, Nickel City? Look at what they did to Tommy. And all he's doing is telling the truth. He ain't lying. He's literally voicing his opinion. Banned. Telling the truth. Banned. Why? Because they want to control you, and they do that by controlling the narrative and controlling your power. If I can take your power, you're not a problem. If I can control what you say, you're not a problem. Just look at how they do people in these other countries, and you'll see it. Clear as day. People can't say what they want. People can't go where they want. They got curfews and shit like that in these other countries, man. Case in point, one of the last places that, well, not last places, but one of the worst things you ever want to do being out of this country is going to jail. You don't ever want to go to jail in a third world country. You don't ever want to go to jail in a communist ran country. You don't ever want to go to jail in a socialist country. Because you know what? You literally have no rights. I'm telling you, it's fucked up. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Tommy can't keep a channel up on YouTube, but Pop Smoke can. King Von can. These motherfuckers are dead and they talk about shit but killing and dying. And all they shit stay on. You can't say fuck black bitches without getting taken down on Facebook. But an active shooter can not only mention what he's gonna do, but profess it and gives in time, in real time updates on the carnage he's causing as he goes and kills his family members and goes to kill other people, and he's not taken down. He don't get banned. He don't get a strike. That boy in Uvalde talked about killing motherfuckers for years and never got banned. Never lost his never was in Facebook jail. I'm just telling you what I know. All of these shooters put these manifestos online and the police don't even get called. But if I say COVID-19, I get banned. If I mention or post something about COVID-19, I get a fucking strike, or I get put in Facebook jail for 30 days. I can't go live and I can't post on my page. That don't get through. But a fucking killer talking about what the fuck he's gonna do to people, oh, that stays up. And we take it down after the shit's happened. Right. Mike Adams said, what about New Zealand? So when people try to compare us to other countries, it's a moot point to do it. Can't talk about the election. Right. We couldn't talk about the election. They banned our fucking commander-in-chief at the time. He couldn't even say what the fuck he wanted. What are you talking about? So don't ever try to compare America to any of these other countries, because you can't do half the shit you do here over there. Go over to these other countries and fuck up and see what happened to your ass. Ask that white boy that got his ass caned in China doing that dumb shit. Hell, Donald Trump had to step in and help motherfucking Lonzo Ball brother. Because they was over there doing some nigga shit and stole a fucking bag. May not have been him, but his crew, and they all lumped their ass in together. You will get locked the fuck up with the quickness and thinking, I want my phone call. Yeah, okay, motherfucker. Not here. Sit your ass in this jail and hope that we feed you. Look at the program called Locked Up Abroad. Take a look at that. Don't take my word for this. Go check out Locked Up Abroad and see how them motherfuckers get treated over there when they get locked up. And all the while, when people try to talk about, well, the things that happen here don't happen over there. Bullshit. Shout out to my man, Citizen Man, hit your boy for $10. Shout out to Billy Goat, hit your boy with $5. Shout out to my man Stanford, hit your boy with $4. Thank y'all so much for donating. Check that shit out, man. Don't take my word for this shit. See how these people get treated in these other countries when they go to jail. Fuck how they living. Fuck the resources they may have or don't have. But just look at that shit. Look at what happens to those people that go to jail over there. For the same shit that we do over here. Drugs and fucking murder and fucking rape and all that shit. Man, they go over there, they don't have shit. I remember my the person that did my pedicures up in Michigan. Shout out to Sammy's. Up in Michigan, they told she was telling me about how in Vietnam, that's where she's from. In Vietnam, when you went to jail over there, your family had to feed you. They had to bring you rice and had to bring you food, because if they didn't, you didn't eat. Your family, when you got locked up over there, your family had to bring you clothes, or you had none. Your family literally had to take care of you when you went to jail over there, or you didn't have anything. You would die in jail of hunger or whatever the case may be. And it's like when you're talking about saying, well, they're doing what's best. They're trying to do what's best for the world, trying to do what's best for the country, trying to do what's best for the people. Think about it like this. You don't think that the shit that these rappers are saying is bad for the country, sends a bad message to our children? You don't think that the fuck shit that you see on the internet when it comes to uh 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 the twerking and the fuckery that goes on, you don't think that that shit's bad? Nigga, you can be on fucking Instagram and literally be shooting a fucking porno. Go through, no problem. So a motherfucker can get on Instagram and literally give some head, but if I say COVID-19, I'm shut down. If I say the election was fucking rigged, I'm shut down. Just by saying it. If I make a post talking about a group of people and it hurts their feelings, fuck the fact that it's true, just because it hurts their feelings and they don't have to look at it, but because they choose to, I can get taken down. That's the kind of country we live in. So I don't want to hear shit about somebody saying that ain't nobody trying to take our guns, ain't nobody gonna take our guns. Bullshit. Once you begin to pull at the fabric of freedom, trust me, the whole thing will unravel. It's one thread. It's one thread. And when you let your politicians begin to tug at it, begin to pull it, when the shit starts to unravel, it goes from make sense gun laws to what fucking Justin Trudeau just did. I'm putting a freeze on all gun purchases and all gun ownership. You can't import shit, you can't transfer shit, you can't sell shit, and you damn sure can't buy shit. Why? Because I want to. This ain't what the people ain't protesting, asking for this in the streets. This a bunch of rich fuckers who just decided to say, yeah, we need to do this if we're going to run this shit ourselves. And you know why they think like that way? Because they understand clearly that it's more of us than it is them. 350 something Americans with guns is a problem when you're trying to tell those Americans what they can have, what they can do, and where they can go. Hitler figured that out. Venezuela figured that out. Canada figured that out. North Korea figured that out. China figured that out. Japan figured that out. England figured that out. Switzerland figured that out. New Zealand figured that out. But yet and still, the people that are here don't even want to consider it and look at the trend and look at the history to say, yeah, they would do the same exact goddamn thing. Because look at it like this. At one point, when Germany did the gun buyback, the gun confiscation, at one point they thought Hitler was doing the right thing. In Australia, they thought that their government was doing the right thing. And it wasn't until Hitler said, you know what? Let's get rid of the Jews too, to where people even raised an eyebrow and said, wait a minute. And he got rid of millions and was taking over every little country, every big country, until somebody said, wait a minute, if this motherfucker gets this and this, he can take over the fucking world. He went from talking shit in a fucking pub. He went from talking shit inside of a bar. And then he went to talking shit outside of a bar because it was so many people. Then he went to talking shit to an entire country and systematically took over each one. So just because somebody's talking, somebody's saying this and they saying one thing, it doesn't mean that they're not doing another. Just saying. Just saying. And I'll end it with this. My point would be, if I'm wrong and I'm the crazy guy and I don't get it, if I'm the guy that don't know what he's talking about, if I'm the guy that's doing too much, if I'm the guy that's reading way too much into this is just stuff to make us all safe, then why not let my safety be my responsibility? Why not let me be in charge of how I keep myself safe and how I protect my family and how I protect my property? Why would I not? What's the problem with me doing that? And I'm telling you like this. When you let people take your rights away and they try to justify it by saying, oh, it wasn't absolute and that's not what they meant, then trust and believe. If they think that they know what's best for you, then they're going to keep you in a position to where you're on your knees asking them for everything. That's why when the government's talking about giving you all of this and doing all of that and doing all of this and doing all of that for you, trust me, it comes with a price. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Always remember that. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I hope that somebody will watch this and realize that all of us Pro 2A people, we're fighting for a reason. We're speaking up and speaking out for a reason. All I want is for me to be able to protect myself with the tool that does it the best way. That's all I want. I don't want anybody telling me how to protect myself, how to protect my loved ones, and how to protect my property. Why? Because it's my responsibility. That's it. And I'm fully aware of that, and I accept that 1,000%. I know that law enforcement is only here to enforce the law. They're not here to protect me. That's a fact. The police, it is not their job to protect you. It is their job to enforce the law and to arrest those criminals that break the law. That's it. That's it. And I trust and believe freedom to bear arms, freedom of speech, they go hand in hand, people. They wrote the First and Second Amendment the way they wrote the First and Second Amendment for a fucking reason. And if you try to think that because these guys wrote this shit some 300 years ago or 200 and something years ago, if you think that they wrote it and didn't know what the fuck they were doing, then you're a fool. They wrote it the way that they wrote it because they left the country that was doing the very thing that happened to them that they don't want to happen to us. That's why they left. And they came over here and they wrote those laws and they wrote those rules and they wrote those rights for us to be able to have our freedom. Because when you got your government running every aspect of your life, trust and believe me, people, you have no freedom. You have no rights. Everything becomes a privilege. And a person who is in charge, who's in control of who and how your freedoms and your rights and your privileges get exercised, they are your masters. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show tonight. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Thank you guys so much for just being able to just give me an opportunity to talk to you guys. I love you all dearly, and I hope that you guys can take this and really think about what it is that I'm saying. Regardless of the fact that you may agree or you may disagree with me, just think about what it is that I'm saying and take that and try to dispute it. If you want to try to have a conversation with me about it, I'm more than willing. My door is always open. Just let me know and hit me up. If you disagree with me, please call me to task. Bring me to task and let's talk about it. Till then, keep your guns, people. Keep your guns and keep speaking the truth. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab. Please click that like button, click that subscribe button. If this is your first time watching me, please leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. You guys, thank you so much for just being with me tonight. I really do love you all, and I really do love what it is that I do. Till next time, peace, and I'm out.
What's going on, everybody out there in the internet world? It's me, Brian Redmond, also known as the Relationship Rehab. And I need you to do two things. What are those two things? Subscribing to both my channels. I need you to go to the Relationship Rehab, subscribe to that channel, and then I need you to go to United Guns of America and go to that channel. Now you may be asking, why would I do that, Brian? Because it's two of the hottest channels on the internet. Come over there, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, have conversations, because that's what it's all about. We talk about some of everything: politics, relationships, guns, law enforcement, community stuff. Anything that's happening, I'm willing to have a conversation about it, so come on over. You don't got nothing else to lose, and you ain't got nothing else to do. So come to my channel, subscribe ASAP, and join in on the fun. Twice the entertainment, 2 channels, twice the fun. Come on and have a funky good time with your boy. Peace, and I'm out.